I am Dr. Srishendu Pal, consultant physician and diabetologist, Shiliguri. Our topic of discussion today is heart disease and diabetes. First of all, what is diabetes? Diabetes is a clinical syndrome where the blood sugar level of our body rises. What happens in diabetes? In diabetes, the food that we eat is broken down into glucose and then utilized by insulin to produce energy or store it for future use. But in diabetes, this is altered. And why is it so? It may be either due to a deficiency in insulin, or it may be also due to inability of the body to use insulin. Thus, glucose piles up in the blood, leading to hyperglycemia, which is manifested as diabetes. And why is heart disease so important in diabetes? We all know that a diabetic patient has a chance of suffering from cerebral stroke or a heart attack 2 times that of a normal person. A diabetic patient aged more than 65 years has a chance of cardiac disease to the tune of 68% more than that of a normal person. How does diabetes lead to heart disease? In diabetes, there is increased formation of atheroma due to bad cholesterol, that's LDL cholesterol in the blood. This atheroma piles up along the walls of the blood vessels, leading to its narrowing. And when this blood vessel is suddenly blocked due to a thrombus in the heart, we have a heart attack. If the same is blocked in the brain, we have a brain attack, that's a cerebral stroke. So, what you should do if you are suffering from diabetes? First of all, the ABCs of diabetes. A is A1C, that is glycated hemoglobin, or the average glucose in the blood, which is manifested in the form of glycosylated hemoglobin, which you may measure every 3 months. Our target should be to maintain a blood glucose of less than 7% HbA1c, or ideally even 6.5% if possible. Next comes B, that's blood pressure. And what is blood pressure? Blood pressure is the lateral force exerted by the blood on the walls of the arteries. And in diabetes, the blood pressure rises. And why is it so? It is because of the cholesterol lining the walls of the blood vessels, causing hardening of the vessels, leading to increased blood pressure. Then comes C. C is the cholesterol. It is composed of bad cholesterol and good cholesterol. The bad cholesterol is the LDL, which should be our target. For a patient suffering from diabetes, the LDL cholesterol should be kept below 70 milligram per DL. This bad cholesterol leads to the formation of atheroma in the walls of the blood vessels, that the endothelium, which may later be blocked, leading to myocardial infarction or a heart attack. The opposite is the good cholesterol, that's the HDL. The HDL removes bad cholesterol from the body and protects our heart. Now you all know that diabetes is a lifestyle disease. If we can lead a good, balanced, stress-free lifestyle, probably we may remain free of diabetes in the long run. Regarding our diet, first of all, we should go for a high fiber, low glycemic index foods. High fiber foods means food which have a lot of fibers, for example, vegetables, legumes, green leafy vegetables, and we should avoid those with high glycemic index, that's the roots and tubers. Similarly, we should take fruits which are rich in fiber, for example, apple, orange, cucumber, etc., which have high fiber content. Similarly, we should also take foods rich in protein and replace the saturated fat with unsaturated fat. What are the saturated fats in our diet? Is ghee, butter, etc., which should be replaced by monosaturated or unsaturated oils such as the olive oil or the rice bran oil. The bakery items, cakes, pastries, etc., may be replaced by complex carbohydrates. Simple sugars, sweets, etc., should also be removed from the diet. We should go for a high fiber diet, as I said. Also, we should undertake exercise. In exercises, we should start with the low intensity exercise and of a small duration. As times go on and we practice regularly, we should increase the intensity of exercise and the duration. Each diabetic patient should exercise for about 150 minutes per week or at least 30 minutes per day. Exercises may be in the form of aerobics, such as cycling, swimming, walking. But any form of exercise is a must. Short bursts of high intensity exercise may also be good and it should be done at least twice weekly, such as climbing up the stairs, running, jogging, etc. Next, we should try to remove the modifiable risk factors. And the number of one modifiable risk factor is smoking. We should all stop smoking. We all know smoking not only may lead to diabetes, it also raises the bad cholesterol in the blood. It makes us more prone to a heart attack, may lead even to lung cancer or oral cancers. Smoking is an absolute no-no. Alcohol should also be avoided. However, we should always remember alcohol constitutes empty calories and that should be avoided as far as possible. Next comes salt. In Indians, our salt intake is perhaps too much. Most of us take around 5 to 6 grams of salt per day, and we should reduce it to perhaps less than 2.3 grams per day. How can we do it? We should not keep the salt shaker on the table. The added salt is a total taboo, should not be used. Look at the labels. You should know how to read the labels of salt intake. Choose prepared foods, seeing the proper labels. And for cooking, use spices, pepper, etc. instead of salt to make the food tasty. Above all, we should try to live a stress-free lifestyle. As the days go by, we are finding more and more patients are suffering from diabetes, and for them, stress is a very important factor. To reduce stress, we can go for long breathing exercises. of meditation. Sleep should be minimum 7 to 9 hours per day and at the correct time. You should keep a tight sleep schedule, going to bed at the right time. So, in summary, we can say that diabetes management involves not only the control of blood sugar through medication, which is a must. Medication should be taken regularly and in the correct dose and duration. But also, we should remember that diet should be proper, a balanced one of high fiber content and high protein, avoiding saturated fats and high glycemic foods. And last but not the least, we should exercise regularly and keep ourselves fit to face this challenge facing the new generation today. Thank you all.